Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. Only on this channel, we bring you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Wherever it is, we'll bring it to you. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. Last week, we brought you a report of the live directly what was happening in Borno State, Maiduguri precisely. Today, we are back in the studio. Yes, you saw the reports. Well, thank God that the situation is under control now, and we pray that those concerned, those in authority, will do everything to bring lasting succor to the victims of that devastating flood. Yes, today we are going to be looking at a very interesting topic that is quite very germane and important for us to look into. But before then, I want to bring you a report from the Nigerian Army, how they put together some relief activities for the victims of the Maiduguri flood disaster. Sit back as we bring you this report.
In line with its command philosophy and in fulfillment of Nigerian Army constitutional mandate to provide military aid to civil power, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, gave approval for critical assets from the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering to assist in the Operation Flood Sanity 2 in Borno State. The operation, which is being carried out by the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, is to render support in the management of the 10th September 2024 flood disaster in Borno State. On the night of Friday, 13th September 2024, and acting in compliance with the approval of the Chief of Army Staff, these assets departed from the school in Makurdi, Benue State to Maiduguri, Borno State. The Theater Commander, Joint Task Force, Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Waidi Shaibu, spoke to Security Watch Africa on the assets.
Initially, when this incident happened, the number of boats we were able to mobilize were just six. 6 boats from Baga. We have the 403 Amphibious Brigade, and that is grossly inadequate. And when the Operation Force Standing was eventually launched, the Chief of Army Staff directed the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering. They have a watermanship department there to bring all their boats, and they will mobilize 7 fast assault boats, 2 tugboats, 2 foldable float bridges, 20 boat operators, and so many other things like that. And they mobilized them all the way from Makurdi, and the drivers drove throughout the night to bring those items to us to support the operation. And those boats were very, very critical in navigating through the nooks and crannies of flooded streets. So most of the water at over rooftop, and you'll see a lot of people on the top of their houses. So these boats were very, very instrumental to ferrying of logistics, food and water to those people trapped in the interior of most of these flooded streets. These were critical lifesavers, and it went a long way in ensuring that the Operation Flood Sanity achieved its desired state.
Security Watch Africa crew witnessed the assets being launched into the water for the commencement of its assignment.
Are you ready? So we can come back here.
Major General Shaibu appraised the entire Operation Flood Sanity Tool.
I will say that the end state have been achieved. We have provided we were very visible, the armed forces were very visible during the critical 72 hours where we provided the help to rescue a lot of people and take them to safety. Currently now, we are just also providing support for other people because most people have been displaced. Food and water is essential commodities now that they need. You can see we have medical facilities also that have been established. Both the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force also have established medical outposts to provide medicines and medical support to most of these rescued people. So I would say that the Operation Flood Sanity has achieved its end state, but it's not yet over. We still have the recovery phase whereby our medical teams will also assist in the evacuation of maybe the carcasses of dead animals and maybe if any other casualties that we'll see.
Welcome back. Yeah, we must say kudos to the leadership of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai and Major General Wahid Shuaibu for a yeoman's job there with his officers. You saved lives, millions of lives you have saved by your actions. Kudos to you from Security Watch Africa, and indeed from the whole Nigerians who are appreciative of what you and your men have done. Yes, this is something happened during the week that actually drew our attention, and we'll need to sound some caution here to some people. We know as the year is coming to an end, some enemies of the society is doubling their efforts to make some money to celebrate the end of the year. So people will have to be very, very careful. During the week, men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps rescued a young lady who was tied by a man who invited him, a young man who invited her to a hotel here in Abuja, and the man was preparing to use her for ritual purposes. But the response of the people in the vicinity saved her life, and the girl man there on brown T-shirt was intercepted, and the girl was set free. Really, people should be very, very careful this period. Again, in the southeast, a young boy was adopted by, this is still the girl in Abuja, and she was tied, but you can see that the people intervention helped. She was loosed, and today I believe she's safe. But she's receiving some attention, psychological attention from the security agencies to get her to a stable state. Yes, to the southeast now, where a young boy who was adopted was actually also rescued. The local vigilante arrested the guy, and the interest here is that the young boy was ordered or made to torture his adopter. But I think that we must be cautious here because that little boy is being indoctrinated now to take the path of violence, in as much as we commend the action to rescue him, but people must not encourage acts like this. I think that we must desist from such action because this young boy, this will remain with him throughout his life until he's brought out of it. Even when he was not doing it as they expected, they encouraged him to hit harder, and that must be condemned, and so that we can have a sane society. Yes, let's come to the studio now where I have a man that I respect so much. In fact, the last time I met him was in 2009 in Accra, in Ghana. And today he is back to Nigeria after having served Nigeria in many foreign missions, I must say. I have with me here Ambassador Simon Ejike Eze, who is retired after having served in so many countries, in Germany, in Cuba, in Ghana, in Portugal. He served in so many countries, and today he was an essay to the former secretary to the federal government, he was also worked with the former president and also to the former Senate president. Recently, he contested the senatorial aspirant in the southeast, precisely in Enugu North Senatorial District. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be looking at security, restoration of security, and activities of security personnel in the southeast of Nigeria. Yeah, I have my opinion, but let me find out from Ambassador himself. Yeah, Your Excellency, I must say, I must call you that because we remember when you were in the service, you were quite active protecting the interests of Nigeria. Tell us now that you are back home. How is security currently in the southeast?
Once again, thank you for having me, and good afternoon, viewers. Well, I'm from the southeast too. I don't live there, but I visit once in a while. I can say security in the southeast now is something like one can describe as calm and quiet. We have seen an increased level of action by agencies of government and the government themselves. With the coming of the present government of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his insistence on security agencies and their heads to go through their duties strenuously and with determination, I see a lot of reduction in insecurity in the southeast. Hitherto now, we used to hear about activities of unknown gunmen, killing left, right, and center, civilians and people in services, the army, the police, and doing all manner of evil against the civilian population of the southeast. But with the active collaboration of the present set of governors, who are so proactive in addressing the issue of insecurity in the southeast, the level of insecurity has not actually diminished completely, but it has come to what I could describe as a calm and low level.
Yeah, it's better improvement now.
A lot of improvement.
Okay.
For instance, the present governor of Enugu State, His Excellency Peter Mbah, as soon as he came into office, he declared the sit at home illegal and banned it. You know, and it took off from there, and it's not actually completely being complied with. That on Monday, there are skeletal works by banks and other government officials in many parts of the of Enugu, and I know many other governors in the southeast are doing the same. So I can say security in the southeast is at a level now that it's not. We're not there. But we are on the way to that, getting there.
Okay, yeah. I know that there's one complaint that people always give about security in the South is that in as much as the security personnel are doing their job, maintaining security, that some of them carry out some excesses in terms of incessant roadblocks and the harassment of people. Have you observed any of these, and what will be your take?
Yeah, my take is that I agree it is absolutely necessary that we have these security agencies on our highways maintaining the law and order. But I believe they can also perform their duties in a more civilized manner. The duty of the agencies is to maintain law and order in the Southeast. But sometimes you find that in some of these posts, you know, along the road, checkpoints, there's a lot of harassment of the innocent citizens of Southeast, harassment, intimidation, abuse of their rights, extortion with impunity, real extortion with impunity. You'll be in a car, you will see a policeman or a security officer bringing out money to exchange with a transporter. And it's not in one place, it's widespread. And I know this trend, if not checkmated now, will increase with the yellow tide coming on. The ember months, you know, in the Southeast, were people who are very active in other parts of Nigeria, and we will always want to return to the Southeast, to our various villages and towns, so that we could enjoy the Christmas period with our family members. In short, in the popular, they say, are you going for December? Are you going for December? Means, are you going for Christmas in December? So we are asking that this level of intimidation, harassment, abuse of their rights, extortion is excessive. And I'm appealing to the government and the president to look into this matter with seriousness. I know the governors would want these things stopped immediately if they had the powers. But you know, the law puts the security and maintenance of land order in the exclusive list in our constitution. The governors, yes, assume to be the chief security officers, but they don't have command of these heads of parastatals that are put on the road to checkmate insecurity. So it's necessary to have them, but the number is excessive, and their actions must be harmonized to protect the people they claim or they seem to be protecting. They are doing that quite all right, but they are also engaging in acts that are unlawful and disgraceful to each of the services they belong.
Okay. Now there is a general saying which has become an acceptable norm now, that the society gets the security, the police it deserves. Could it be that the people there are also willing to give out the money to the security agencies, or were they being forced to do this? What did you observe?
To a reasonable extent, I agree with that analogy, you know, but what we are saying is that an average person from the Southeast, mostly businessmen, don't like to waste their time with police and going there and there to see he gets his rights. Instead of doing that, he would rather give them the money and go. But we are saying that it's not the right thing to do, but that is the habit. So with this in mind, we're now saying that the agencies who have control of these men must do something so that they don't even ask these people, they don't stop them. For instance, I was happy when the police said they want to digitalize
Checking of documents.
Checking of documents.
Yeah.
So that if you come in, as is done in many other countries, civilized countries, including Ghana, they just punch their computers and say, who is the owner of this vehicle? When was he licensed? I mean, they give all the information there and then. And if you think he's a criminal, is a criminally minded person, or is a fraudulent person, then you have the right to flag that very car down. But this one, every vehicle on the road is stopped and checked. Meanwhile, this checking is just to collect money. That's what I see. I don't see them say, okay, who are you? They have never asked me on the road, may I know you, sir? They just see me, maybe they look at me as an elderly person, they say, go. But before I come to the point, they have stopped many other vehicles, ask them for money. And when they don't have, they now bring out a larger sum for them to receive change with impunity. And it is an eyesore that these things happen amongst our uniformed men And their heads in Abuja and other places are watching without taking proper actions.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why we had to bring this to attention, because some of the heads, like you pointed out in Abuja, may not know this. Even some of the heads in their headquarters in the southeast, for instance, taking for instance your state where you're coming from, in Enugu State, may not know what the men are doing in, say, in Nsukka or in Oji River area or in Ogu side. You may not know until this information gets to them. The same thing with other services. I'm happy that you are bringing this up, and this will take it further to even pass it to the decks of the security agencies to see. I know that they are watching this themselves. They will take note. But let's come to this. I know that police, for instance, they condemn acts of corruption, but still, the men that they send on this beat still extort money, like you said, and they have seen them being punished sometimes. Even every other security services also, I have been with them, and I know that they will tell them, don't stop people, don't harass people, be friendly and all that. But when they get on the field, so most times or sometimes the opposite is what they do. Now, how do you think the people can help to checkmate this? Because I've seen where you can see some people, civilians will stand by the side to be the one to receive the money in some cases. So how do you think the people can help to resolve this?
Well, the people can help by resisting these policemen and other security agencies from this extortion. But like I said earlier, they are on a journey, especially. They are on a journey. And to have 30, 40 minutes delay will not be in their own interest. I believe these people, the citizens, have little or nothing to do except asking them to take the laws into their hands. Don't forget, these are armed men. These are people who are desirous of getting this money from these individuals. So the people are more or less helpless. I think the help could come from the authorities themselves, because this issue of collecting money from people, travelers on the road, is something I see as infectious. If you put any government department, as I observe, because you see, initially it was the police everybody's talking about, but go along the road, you see other officers of other security agencies, including the military. In short, when I see naval men along Lokoja Road doing the same thing, I ask them one simple question. Are you right in the deep sea, blue sea, where you're supposed to be sailing? So it's not really their fault. It's not really their fault. The authorities must find a way to take away their men who are not supposed to be on the road, especially the army, the military, the Navy, the Air Force, and the army. They are not empowered by the Constitution to be on the road collecting money every day from travelers, from motorists. And it's happening. And they cannot claim they don't know it. They know. But I don't know what we need to do. They need to do more, set up a task force to actually reduce the level at which these things are taking place. Because they do it with impunity. They don't care. They don't care at all. So if there is an oppression, one or two people are caught doing this extortion, and then others will see the punishment meted out to these officers who are doing this, it will come to an end. It will be minimized. It may not come to an end, because we always say police, police, police. The issue of extortion on the road cuts across all agencies. Even the NDLE, they will stop a whole car and say they want to search for drugs. They put all the passengers down, they begin to, can they use a sniffer dog to get closer to the vehicle if there is a drug in that vehicle? This is what they do in airports. A well-trained sniffer dog can dictate a vehicle carrying cocaine or heroin or Indian hemp, if they are well-trained. These are the kind of things I expect the NDLE leadership to do. But they flag you down, they ask you to bring all the load down, they start checking you. At the military points in some places, they bring all the passengers down and ask them to walk across the road because they want to check the vehicle and check the passengers. These things are not normal in civilized societies.
Yeah, but again, we know that security exigencies, sometimes the situation on ground may demand some extreme security check. But the point you are making now is that in most cases, some of these cases, they don't even check these vehicles properly. Because I've seen a situation whereby illegal things were recovered from some of all these travelers and some of these vehicles. Now, I know that they're giving us signal to leave, but let's look at generally, because you have seen it all. You have been in foreign countries, you have returned back home and aspiring to also speak, be a voice for your people and all that. How best do you think we can get security right generally in the country?
Security.
Security.
Synergy amongst security agencies. Let them synergize and let the heads know that they have a mandate from the government and for the people. Let them work on the mandate given to them by Mr. President. Stop the issue of insecurity in the land. The bandits in the north, the unknown gunmen, all these things can be done through intelligence, actionable intelligence given to them, and they're working to get this actionable intelligence to reduce this level of insecurity in the country. There's no way we can do it except by empowering them, which government needs to empower them the more to do their work as they're supposed to do it. Give them necessary moral support, equipment. This is the digital age. A lot of things can be done digitally. Use of other equipment to track down criminals and stuff like that. That's the only way.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Ejike Simon Eze, for being with us in the studio today. Your voice has been heard. I'm sure that the actions will be taken immediately from now, and that the government must also respond to and do the needful, as the ambassador have just rightly said. Like I said, Ambassador Ejike Simon Eze is a retired deputy director of Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and represented Nigeria in some other countries, and today is back. Yes, we'll be signing off for today. If you have enjoyed watching this program, join us again next week. But before we leave the studio, let me congratulate Mr. Gowon Elams, who marked his birthday during the week. We must say happy birthday to you, the studio general, who everybody call general. It's a pleasure that you're marking 1 year again. God will continue to sustain and keep you. Yeah, until next week when we come here, we'll get thanks for staying tuned, and bye for now.